Warning. The program you're about to watch contains explicit language and descriptions of adult themes and graphic violence that people may find disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
As the day went on, Kate got up and took a shower. "How do you intend to get into limbo?" Kado asked when she emerged. "A date night," Kate announced with excitement. Kado blinked. "Are you serious?" "Very." She grinned. "How else would we get in?" Kado sighed, but before he could protest further, Kate clapped her hands together. "Let's go shopping," Kate said with excitement. Some shops were still open and she led the way through town. Kate eagerly browsed outfits, trying on dress after dress, while Kado grabbed the first suit that fit him. "That'll do," he muttered. Kate, on the other hand, took her time inspecting every detail of each outfit she tried. Kado stood outside the dressing room, arms crossed, growing impatient. "Hurry it up, Kate," Kado urged. "Somebody's grouchy," she teased, flashing a playful smile. "It's only for one night," Kado grumbled. "Yes, but a woman must shine bright, even if it's only for one night," Kate said, twirling in front of the mirror. Kado let out a long, suffering sigh. Seriously." After what felt like an eternity, Kate finally emerged. "All done. Thanks for waiting." Kado rolled his eyes. "Let's go." Kate looped her arm through his. "Let me make it up to you for your patience." "I'd rather you not," Kado said coldly. "I insist," Kate pleaded. Reluctantly, Kado let out a sigh. "Fine," he said. Kate led him to a nearby street food stall, where she bought him something to eat. They found a bench and sat down, Kate watching as Kado took a bite. "So, how is it?" she asked. "It's fine," he replied between bites. Kate leaned back slightly. "You're so human-like." Kado blurted it out. Kate raised an eyebrow. "You think so?" "Well, it helps me blend in better," she said with a small shrug. "How old are you anyway?" he asked. "It's not polite to ask a woman her age," Kate teases. Then Kate sighed. "About 200 years old." Kado looked up from his food. "Oh, really?" Kate nodded. Kado hesitated for a moment. "But Kate, how did you die?" She exhaled slowly, gaze distant. 200 years ago, I was forced to marry a man I didn't love, so I took my own life." She let the words hang in the air before continuing. "Long story short." Kado studied her for a moment. "And how did you turn?" "After I died, maybe only minutes later, a Dracula named Maximus took my body and bit me. He revived me." "Why?" Kado questioned. "Maximus said he felt sorry for me. So for years I accepted what I became." Kate explained. Kado's expression darkened. "The same Maximus?" "Most likely." Kate's voice was quiet. "Can I ask you something?" Kate's voice is quiet but firm. Kado barely glances up from his meal. "Sure, who was she?" Kate wasted no time. He pauses mid-bite, then slowly sets his food down. His expression hardens, but his eyes betray something deeper. "You mean Serena?" Kado said. "Is that her name?" Kate questioned. "Yes." His voice is measured, controlled. "She and I were partners. We hunted your kind for years." Kate studies him. "Just partners? Or more?" A shadow crosses Kado's face. "More." Kate tenses slightly, her posture betraying a moment of vulnerability. Kado exhales. "We were a team." She relaxes, but only a little. His voice turns distant as he continues. "The night we faced Maximus, she was bitten. She begged me to kill her while she was still human." He swallows hard. "So I did." Silence lingers between them. "I carry that guilt with me." His jaw tightens. "That's why I want to go after Maximus." Kate nods slowly. "I see. That's why you didn't kill me the night we met, because I begged you to." Her eyes search his. "It reminded you of her." Kado holds her gaze. "Yes." She pleaded. "The same way you did." A beat passes. Then Kado shifts, his eyes narrowing slightly. "Who was he?" Kate lets out a bitter chuckle. "Oh, you mean my recently deceased lover?" Kado nods, continues to eat his food. Her expression darkens. "His name was Leo. He loved me even after he knew what I was." She glances away. "He loved me regardless." A pause. "I think I loved him too." A flicker of something unreadable crosses Kado's face. Kate presses on. "He was murdered a few weeks ago. Some man or vampire, they never found out who." She clenches her fists. He begged me to turn him, but I refused. Because I loved him, I couldn't make him suffer like I have. Kado studies her, his silence heavy with understanding. Then Kate speaks again, softer this time. Did you love Serena? His throat tightens. I did. He looks away. But she'll never know that. She died before I could tell her. He exhales sharply. That's what I regret the most. Kate watches him, sympathy flickering in her eyes. I'm so sorry, Kado. He shakes his head. It's not your fault. She tilts her head, but I can still feel your pain. I've been alive for 200 years. I know a thing or two about human emotions. Her voice drops. She'll never know how you felt. That's a void that will always be empty. Kado turns away, but a tear slips free. Kate reaches out, cupping his face and turning him back toward her. Their eyes meet, both filled with sorrow, both carrying wounds that time refuses to heal. At that moment, they both shared something real between them. Then Kate leans in, closing her eyes. Your hands are so cold. Kado abruptly pulls away and stands, wiping his tears. The moment shatters. We should head back, he says, his voice clipped. Without another word, he turns and walks away. Kate watches him go, her voice barely above a whisper. You still love her? Back at Kado's place. Tomorrow night, we go to Limbo, he announces. Tonight, we rest. Kate nods. Agreed. Another night falls. When Kado emerges, he's dressed in a sleek suit, adjusting his cuffs. Kate steps into view, draped in an elegant dress. He turns his head to look at her. She smirks. Well, how do I look? He looks at her, stunned, but quickly masks his interest. You're good, Kado said quickly, before turning his eyes away. Kate narrows her eyes. That's it? Kado shrugs. We're not there to party. We're on a mission. Kate huffs. Even so, a woman deserves to shine for one night. Kado smirks faintly. I've heard that somewhere before. Come on, let's go. Kado demands. A limousine had already pulled up, waiting for them. With that, they step into the night. I'll do the talking, Kate says, swiping on a bold streak of red lipstick. When they arrive, she shoves a thick bundle of cash into Kado's hand. Where did you get this? He asks, narrowing his eyes. Victims, she replies with a smirk. Kado exhales sharply but says nothing. He tips the driver with the cash Kate gave him. Kado then turns and begins walking away. Wait, Kate calls, hurrying to his side. She loops her arm through his. At least pretend we're together, she purrs. This isn't a real date. Stay focused, Kado mutters. Kate just grins. Oh, come on, this is going to be fun, Kate squealed. Inside, the room is dripping with elegance. Crystal chandeliers, polished marble floors, and guests dressed in dark, expensive fabrics. Kado scans the space. Don't drink at the bar, Kate warns, her voice low. Everything's mixed with blood. Got it, he says. She glides up to the bartender. Red water, please. A bottle is placed in front of her. She takes a long sip, and the transformation is instant. Her eyes changes color. Fangs lengthen. Kado watches, unable to look away. What? Kate asks, catching his stare. He tosses money onto the bar. Nothing, he lies. She smirks. Did I catch your attention? No. Another lie. Kate giggles, grabbing his hand. Come dance with me. Seriously, Kado resists. We're not here to dance. She doesn't listen. With a teasing tug, she pulls him onto the floor, the music pulsing around them. She sways her hips, moving with slow, deliberate seduction. Kado stands firm, unimpressed. His expression remains unreadable as she circles him, teasing, testing. She lifts one leg, bending it at the knee, resting it against his waist. He catches it with one hand, his grip firm but indifferent. His other hand remains at his side. He exhales sharply, rolling his eyes, turning his head away, pretending to not be interested. She leans in, her breath warm against his ear. Don't look right away, she whispers. I see Maximus. Kado tenses, his composure faltering for a fraction of a second. She moves to his other side, gently guiding his face toward hers. Behind me, she murmurs. Kado shifts his gaze past her, careful, casual. Standing there watching is Maximus. Their eyes meet for a fleeting moment before Kado quickly refocuses on Kate. She studies his face, his jaw clenched, his gaze burning into nothing. His fist curls, a silent war brews inside him. Kate catches his hand, effortlessly spinning herself so her back presses against his chest. She pulls his arms around her waist, holding them in place as she sways, pressing against him, disguising his tension with a sensual rhythm. Her fingers glide over his, concealing the fury within his clenched fist. She tilts her head back, lips brushing close to his ear. Calm down, she whispers. A beat of silence. Walk away. Head to the restroom. Kate commanded. She spins to face him, her gaze steady, expectant. Kado hesitates, then breaks away, disappearing toward the bathroom without another word. Maximus approaches. "Kate," he greets smoothly. "Maximus," she replies, her lips curving slightly. His eyes flick to the direction Kado left. "Who was that?" Maximus asked. Kate tilts her head, amusement dancing in her eyes. "Tonight's dinner." A slow smirk spreads across Maximus's face. "I see." She holds his gaze, then after a pause, "Would you like me to share?" Maximus chuckles, pleased. "I would be delighted." He pulls a sleek black card key from his pocket and places it in her palm. "Bring him to my lounge." A kiss grazes her cheek, brief but possessive. As he walks away, Kado emerges from the restroom, watching him go. His posture shifts, intent clear in his eyes. He moves, swift and determined, about to follow. Kate steps into his path. "Where are you going, pretty boy?" she teases, her voice light but firm. Kado meets her gaze, sharp, unreadable. She flashes the card key between her fingers. "We're invited." A moment of silence. Then he exhales, his shoulders dropping slightly. Without another word, he lets her lead. Minutes later, they stand before the door. Kate smirks. "Act like we're having fun," she whispers before pulling Kado toward her. "Kiss me," she demands. Kado hesitates, his body tensing. But before he can pull away, Kate grips the back of his head and presses her lips against his. Kado feels himself being drawn into her kiss, as he instinctively grip her waist and pulling her in. As they kiss, she discreetly beeps the door open. Her breath is warm against his lips as she whispers, "Push me onto that couch." Kado plays along, shoving her down. "Oh, aggressive, tough guy," Kate teases seductively, her voice dripping with amusement. Before Kado can respond, a figure emerges from the shadows. "Maximus!" Kado straightens, his instincts flaring. "Who's that?" he asks, still playing into the act. Kate lets out a short laugh. "Food service, perhaps," she says as she rises, her demeanor shifting. Her eyes darken, fangs emerge. Maximus's expression twists as he undergoes the same transformation. Without warning, he lunges. Kado's gun is out in a flash. He fires. The bullet connects, stunning Maximus for a brief moment. But it's not enough. Kate seizes the opening, delivering a brutal punch that sends Maximus crashing into the wall. Kate rushes to Kado's side. "What is this?" Maximus growls, shaking off the impact. His gaze narrows. "Kate, you traitor!" "Traitor?" Kate scoffs. "I was never on your side." Kado steps forward, gripping his sword. His eyes burn with vengeance. "Maximus, remember me?" His voice is low, dangerous. "You killed my partner, Serena." His grip tightens. "I'm here to settle the score." Recognition flashes across Maximus's face, followed by a cruel grin. "Now I remember. This time I'll make sure you die." With a snarl, Maximus charges. Kate moves first, blurring forward with supernatural speed. She clashes with Maximus, exchanging rapid strikes. Kado joins the fight, but he's slower, human. Maximus knocks him aside effortlessly. Kate lands a powerful kick, but Maximus retaliates with a brutal hit that sends her flying into the wall. She groans, struggling to get back on her feet. Maximus turns toward her, stalking forward. Kado pushes himself up just in time to see it. Without thinking, he throws himself in front of Kate, taking the full force of Maximus's attack. The impact slams them both into the cracked wall. Kado's sword slips from his grasp. Gasping, he reaches for his gun, but Maximus is faster. A swift strike sends the weapon flying. Before Kado can react, Maximus's hand clamps around his throat, lifting him off the ground. "Humans are no match to our powers." Maximus smirks. "Now you die," Maximus sneers, tightening his grip. Kado chokes, clawing at Maximus's hand. His vision blurs. Then, Kate is back on her feet. With a fierce snarl, she launches herself at Maximus, kicking him hard in the ribs. He releases Kado, who collapses to the floor, coughing and clutching his neck. Kate doesn't let up. She and Maximus trade blows, each hit more vicious than the last, but Maximus lands a crushing punch that sends her flying back into the same wall. The crack deepens. Kate gasps for breath, struggling to rise. Maximus exhales sharply, shaking off his wounds. He grins. Both of them need a moment to recover. But the fight isn't over yet. Kado and Kate are clearly losing. Kado locked eyes with Kate. "Bite me," he demanded. Kate shook her head. "No, I won't." "I need vampire powers," Kado insisted. "I won't do it." Kate screamed. "I'm not Leo." Kado stepped closer, tilting his head to expose his neck. "Now bite me." Kate hesitated, staring at the pulse in his throat. A war raged inside her, fear, doubt, hunger. Then, giving in, she sank her fangs into his flesh. Kado moaned as the connection hit him like a shockwave. His hands shot up, gripping the back of her head, fingers twisting into her hair. Pain and pleasure collided. Kate groaned, lost in the intoxicating taste of his blood, his warm skin, her lips pressing hungrily against his skin. She drank deeply. Kado's grip loosened. Kate pulled back, gasping, her breath ragged. Blood dripped from her mouth, trailing down her chin. Both stood there, panting, for different reasons. A stunned voice broke the moment. "What the hell?" Maximus stared, his expression a mix of shock and disgust. Kate's wounds had already begun to heal. Kado clenched his fists, rolling his shoulders as raw power coursed through his veins. His fingers tightened around the hilt of his sword. "Maximus!" he roared. Kado barely had time to steady himself before Maximus lunged. Maximus was able to dodge his sword while the powers were still fresh in his veins. Kado ducked low, twisting his sword in a sharp arc, but Maximus deflected with inhuman speed, countering with a brutal kick to Kado's ribs. The impact sent him skidding across the floor. Kado gritted his teeth, rolling to his feet just as Maximus blurred forward again. He barely raised his sword in time before Maximus's hands came down like a guillotine, the force of the blow nearly buckling his arms. They clashed in a brutal exchange, parries, strikes too fast for the human eye to follow. Maximus was relentless, pressing forward with monstrous strength. Kado matched him, his movements fueled by the raw power pulsing through his veins from Kate's bite. As Kado's body adapted to his newfound powers, Kado sidestepped, feinting left before slashing across Maximus's chest. The blade cut deep, blood sprayed across the ground, but before Kado could press the attack, the wound sealed itself within seconds. "You're too slow," Maximus sneered, driving a knee into Kado's gut. Kado gasped as air rushed from his lungs, but he refused to fall. He used the momentum to spin, sweeping Maximus's legs out from under him. Maximus barely hit the ground before Kado was on him, swinging his sword downward in a killing blow. But Maximus caught the blade with his bare hand. Kado's eyes widened. Maximus smirked, crimson dripping between his fingers. "You really thought that would work?" With terrifying strength, Maximus wrenched the sword from Kado's grip and slammed the hilt into his face. Kado's vision blurred as pain exploded in his skull. Before he could recover, Maximus seized him by the throat and hurled him like a rag doll. Kado crashed through a pillar, stone shattering around him. He groaned, forcing himself upright, but Maximus was already there. A fist like a hammer struck Kado's jaw. Another drove into his ribs. Then a third, a devastating uppercut, sent him soaring through the air. Kado slammed into the wall with earth-shattering force. Cracks splintered through the stone as he crumpled to the ground, coughing up blood. His body screamed in protest, muscles burning, bones threatening to break. And then, light. The damaged wall behind him had split open, sunlight pouring through. Maximus didn't hesitate. He sprinted forward for the kill, fangs bared, but Kado was ready. At the last second, Kado dodged and grabbed Maximus by the collar, using his own momentum against him. With a roar, he spun and slammed Maximus into the weakened wall. Stone crumbled. Sunlight spilled through the widening cracks. Maximus howled as his skin began to blister. Kado didn't stop. He drove his fists into Maximus's ribs, his gut, his face, each strike fueled by fury, by instinct, by vengeance and unrelenting power. The wall trembled, ready to give way. Maximus swung wildly, desperate to break free, but Kado dodged and delivered a final earth-shattering kick to his chest. The wall collapsed. With one final scream, Kado tackles Maximus through the opened wall, both tumbling onto the ground outside. Sunlight engulfed Maximus. His screams were inhuman, his body igniting instantly. Flames consumed him, his flesh peeling, his bones charring, until there was nothing left but blackened ash. His last agonized cry echoed through the ruins, then silence. Kado stood there, panting, his hands still curled into fists. The heat of the sun kissed his skin, but he didn't burn. Confused, he stared down at himself. "Why am I not burning?" he muttered. "You're mostly human," Kate called from the building. "That's why." Kado exhaled, his heartbeat still steady in his chest. He was alive, still himself. Without another word, he stepped back inside. Kado let out a guttural groan, his body convulsing as the curse ripped through him. His breath came in ragged gasps, his muscles twitching as his fangs grew, his eyes flashing between colors. He fought back, digging his nails into his skin, trying to suppress the change. But he was losing. With a snarl of frustration, he reached for his sword, flipping it in his grip and thrusting the hilt toward Kate. "Kill me," he growled. Kate recoiled, eyes wide with horror. "No, I can't!" "You have to." His voice was sharp, desperate. "I don't have time, Kate. If I turn completely, I'll be damned forever." Tears streamed down her face as she shook her head violently. "No, I won't do it. I won't lose you like this." Kado clenched his jaw, his body racked with another wave of pain. He gasped, barely staying on his feet. "If I die human, I can see Serena again." Kate flinched as if he had struck her. "You think that makes this easier?" she screamed. "You think I can just kill you and be okay with it?" Kado's breath hitched as his hands trembled. "You have to." His voice was lower now, but no less urgent. "Before I become something I can't come back from." Kate took a shaky step forward, her hands balled into fists. "You don't get to ask me for this, Kado." She sobbed. "Please." Kado begs. "No, don't beg me." "I can't," Kate screamed. "Yes, you can." Kado's voice more desperate, more firm. "I won't," Kate protested. Pain flickered across his face, not from the curse, but from her words. His expression softened, but only for a moment before another violent tremor racked his body. He choked out a gasp, his fangs fully extended now. He was running out of time. "Kate." His voice was barely a whisper. "Please," he begged. "My final wish." Kado persuaded her. Kate swallowed hard, her entire body trembling. Her heart pounded as she wiped her face, trying to breathe through the grief clawing at her chest. Reluctantly, she reached for the sword. Kado gave her a weak smile. Kate lifted the blade, her hands shaking violently. She hesitated, sobs racking her body. "When you see her, tell her how you feel," she whispered. "I will," Kado said, standing tall, waiting. With a broken cry, Kate thrust the sword into his heart. Kado gasped, blood spilling from his lips. Then with full force he impaled himself deeper until he reached Kate's ears. "Thank you," Kado whispered. Kate's eyes widen as she hears his last words. She pulls the sword out and quickly drops the sword, as if she regret her actions. The sword clanked on the ground as it rests next to Kate's feet. Kado steps back and falls to the ground, his back hitting the floor, his eyes blank with nothingness. Kate fell to her knees beside him, her sobs raw and unrelenting. Her voice was barely a whisper. "I love you." Kado smiles as his life fades. She collapsed, burying her face in her blood-stained palms. And just like that, he was gone.